Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. This is Sir Gabs. In this video, we will be talking about continuity on a closed interval. So we are talking about continuity of the functions and then this time in a closed interval. So there are three conditions to consider for us to say that the function is continuous to a closed interval. So una, it should be that the function is continuous on an open interval. Okay, so given a closed interval, dapat si function continuous muna dito sa open interval. Meaning, exclude nato ang mga boundaries. And then, letter B, the function is continuous from the right of A. Okay? So, from the right of A, meaning gikan sa right going to A. And then, F is continuous from the left of B. So, from the left going to B. Okay? So, basically, kung imong tanawon, ang atong gitanaw is, it's like, if this is the closed interval, no example, if this is the closed interval AB, then first atong gitanaw, syempre no, ato na may pamabaw na, ato na lang itungod sa mabaw. So syempre closed interval is represented by this AB, and then first atong gikuha, it should be a closed interval, so it should be a bracket. So first atong gikuha is kani, meaning ang tunga niya, no, ang in between. So walay labot ang boundaries. And after that, gikuha na to ang continuity sa function from the right of A. So meaning, from the right going to A. Unya, kani siya is from the left, no? So from the left going to B. So meaning, yung tanawon lang din siya, okay, mo lang siya analyze on. We are trying to consider the in-between, and then after that, the boundaries. Now, the in-between, and then the boundaries A and B. So for the function to be continuous in the closed interval, then dapat ma-meet niya ang tulo ka conditions. Anyway guys, take note na lang para dili na muwahago o maayo. All polynomial functions, only for polynomial functions So all polynomial functions are continuous to any real number. Okay? So kung yung tag any real number, then meaning the numbers in between negative infinity and positive infinity. So in between, bot pasabot, walay labot ang boundaries. Okay? So polynomial functions are continuous to any real number. Now, there's no need na. Pag tagaan ka ng polynomial function and then the interval like this, the given interval, if the given interval is composed of real numbers, then meaning, ang imong polynomial function continuous in the given interval. Kaya syempre, continuous man siya to any real number. Okay? So, reason out na lang dayo nimo. So, if given si polynomial function, reason out na lang kadiretso, the function is continuous to this interval because the polynomial function is continuous to any real number. So, we have here a rational function muna. In the next example, we will have the square root function. So, show that the function f of x equals 2x minus 1 all over x minus 3 is continuous or discontinuous on the closed interval negative 2 and positive 2. So again, we are to show if continuous ba siya or discontinuous. So for us to show this, kinahanglan ipakita na ito ng tulo. If usaan niya ma-fail or ma-fail, then meaning discontinuous siya. Pero if ma-meet niya tanan, then both pasabot, continuous na siya. Okay? So first itong buhaton, syempre, ang atong una is to check, is to check if the function is continuous ba on the open interval. So, when you say open interval, meaning open interval negative 2 and positive 2. Guys, ang secretor guys is to look at the denominator. Remember, in the rational functions, ang bawal ragidana is ang denominator dili ma-zero. Kinahanglan ang denominator dili ma-zero. Otherwise, it becomes undefined. So, kanang x minus 3, kinahanglan dili na siya ma-zero. Okay? So, unsa di ay nga number? So, for you to know when will it become 0, pangitaon sa inyo ang value. So, what will you do? Guys, equate the denominator to 0. So, x minus 3 equals 0. So, we are trying to solve the value of x that will make the denominator 0. Okay, at again, atong gisolve na. Gisolve na to ang value sa x nga makapa-0 niya. I mean, makapa-0 sa imong denominator. Balik na, okay, para maklaro. Ang gisolve na to is ang value sa x nga makapa-0 sa denominator itself. Ang x minus 3, tanawa, x minus 3 is equal to 0. So atong gitry og kuha ang value sa x nga makapa-0 sa x minus 3. Okay? So of course, algebraically, you can say this is x equals 3. In other words, this function will become undefined when x is equal to 3. Klaro man sa siya guys, no? Okay, kung 3 na, 3 minus 3 na, syempre 0. Okay? So, actually, mamata-mata ra siya, dali ra kayo siya nang makitaan. Pero in case nga medyo picky ang imuhang situation sa denominator, then you may consider doing this. All you have to do is to equate the denominator to 0. Okay? Since we have found out na 3 will make the function discontinuous, then buot pasabot guys, bawal ang 3. Okay? So, good. Meaning, this means, ito na ibutang, this means x should not be equal to 3. Okay? Kaya kung ma-3 na siya, then syempre, mahimong undefined imong function. Okay? Now, satisfying letter A is the function continuous to this interval. Guys, ang kontra sa function is kanira yun. Ang question na lang karon is, kaning number nga 3, naa ba siya sud sa interval? Kaya nakaunra niyo mo, no? Is this number in the closed interval? Well, kung tanawan mo, wala. Kaya syempre, 3 is after 2 pa man siya. So, wala siya labot. Okay. So, kung wala siya na-appeal, then buot pasabot, the function is continuous at the open interval. Okay, so here we go, no? Letter A di ay, so letter A, may ngonta, since 3 is not in the open interval negative 2 and 2, then the function, then f, or the function, is continuous at the open interval negative 2 and positive 2. So, actually, mora na, no? Mula sa letter A. So, satisfied siya sa letter A. So, this time, we'll proceed to letter B. Okay. Kung dili siya masatisfied there, then automatic undan na. Kaya meaning, discontinuous gila siya. So, again na, kung dili siya masatisfy sa letter A. So, idea karon na, ito ang reason is, continuous siya there because ang 3, wala man siya diha. Okay? So, then f is continuous at the open interval negative 2 and 2. Then, let's have letter B. Letter B. So, for letter B, we have to show that the function is continuous from the right of A. So, from the right. Meaning, gikan sa katong right, gikan sa right going to A. So, first yung buhaton, if you remember, there are 3 gihapon conditions aron makaingon ta nga ang function continuous at a number. So, this time, our A here, kung tanawan na to, our A is equal to what? That's negative 2. So, atong ipakita nga ang function continuous siya from, atong ipakita nga the function is continuous at negative 2 from the left. So, first buhaton, so itong first step in showing, we have to check f of negative 2. So, ito is substitute. So, ito na kong style na ito nga kanang continuity at a number, no? Sa continuity at a number, first yung buhaton, i-substitute nimo ang value sa A to the function. So, from here, i-substitute nimo sa function ng negative 2. This means you will have 2 times negative 2 and then minus 1 all over negative 2 minus 3. So from here, we will say that's negative 4 and then minus 1 is negative 5 all over negative 5, then that means positive 1. Okay, so I think sakto na siguro, no? This is negative 4 minus 1 is negative 5. Negative 5 man said na. So it becomes positive 1. Okay? Second condition, for us to say it's continuous to the number, we have to solve for the limit. Okay? The limit of f of x, or the limit of this function, 2x minus 1, all over x minus 3, as x approaches negative 2 from the right. Okay? So, muna itong i-show, muna itong pangitaon. Kung continuous ba ang function mo as x approaches negative 2 from the right. Why are we so concerned from the right lang? No? Kasi syempre, ang atong interval manggod, wala nilabot ang left sa negative 2. So meaning, wala nilabot ang negative 3, wala nilabot ang negative 4. We are so concerned lang in this close interval. So meaning, ato arang tanawon is kung continuous ba ang imong function from the right going to negative 2. Okay, kung sa number line pa na, no, para mas maklaro, kung sa number line pa na siya, we are so concerned lang from negative 2 to positive 2. So we don't care na diri nga number, wala na sila labot. So kibali, ang imuharang gitanaw is kung continuous ba siya going to negative 2 from the right. Unya, continuous ba sad siya going to positive 2 from the left. From the left man ano? Okay? Kani from the right siya going to negative 2. Okay? So that's how we do it. Then sa number 3 na, magkuha pa nito sa limit na to. If you use table of values, actually okay rin ito, magamit ang table of values. Pero I suggest just substitute right away. Okay? Dali rin na siya kay kung mag-substitute manggod ka, then syempre, na naman tadi ho, nag-substitute then we will still come up with positive 1 gihapon. Kaya ang idea manggod guys is this, no? The limit of the function exists if the limit from the left and right are equal. Di ba? Again ha, kung may nguntag the limit of the function exists, this is not anyway a one-sided, kaya rational man no? So, pag rational function ka, and then the limit exists, kaya di ba, after substitution, if the number is a real number, again ha, in-substitute, kung ang resulta real number, meaning the limit exists. Okay? Unya, kung sa day pasabot kung the limit exists. Di ba, the limit will only exist for rational numbers if the limit from the left and the limit from the right are equal. Okay? So, since na-exist na nga ito ang limit, then meaning, equal ang left o right. Or in other words, kung 1 ang limit, then 1 sad ang limit from the left, 1 sad ang limit from the right. Okay? So, kibali, sakto ni siya. Nga, kung imong tanawon, sige. So, ang limit day sa right, 1 gihapon. Kaya ang limit of the function as a whole is also 1 man. Pero if you really want to be, to be very, very, exact in your solution, you may substitute negative 1.999999. No? Kanabang, unsa man di ay nga number ang very close to negative 2 from the right. Siyempre, before sa nahimong negative 2, niagi pa na siya 1.9999. No? So, instead of substituting right away negative 2, you may substitute negative 1.9999. Okay, it's up to you na yun. And syempre guys, ang gawas na positive 1 gapon. Then for number 3, the third condition, we have to check, is f of negative 2 equal, no? Is the limit, anyway, kaya itong nahon, is the limit of the function f of x as x approaches negative 2 from the right equal to f of negative 2? So, question mark. Well, syempre, makita na ito ang limit is 1 and f of negative 2 is also 1. So, in other words, satisfied ang tulong conditions. So, kibali, ang imuha di ang function is continuous, no? Continuous di ang function from the right of A. So, ang duha conditions na meet na. The third one, sa letter C, we are to show this time kung continuous ba sad siya from the left of kanaang B. So, sa imong yapon pareho ra niya, ato lang is tanawon na to sa ang positive 2 na atong tanawon. So, for the third condition, we have number 1. No, ato ang B aniha is positive 2 na dahil. So number 1, same story, you have f of 2, and then substitute lang sa function. So that means you have 2 times 2. I think this is very close to the sorry. So sa letter C, dito na natin ibutang. Again, B is equal to 2 this time. So f of positive 2 is equal to 2 times 2 minus 1 all over 2 minus 3. So this is equal to what? This 4 minus 1 is 3 over negative 1, that's negative 3. Okay? So syempre, that's a real number. In other words, it exists. Okay? Then, next to that is we have to show the limit. Okay, wala sa ako nabutang mag 1 guys, no? So this is the first condition anyway. Okay. Then number 2, we have to show the limit. We have to show that the limit exists. So the limit of the function f of x, so that's 2x minus 1 all over x minus 3 as x approaches 2 from the left. Oh, from the left na itong tanawan. So what is the limit of the function? Guys, same story na gyapon. Imong buhaton, i-substitute siya diretso ang 2. So, syempre, the same ang result na, negative 3 gyapon. Pero in the same way, sa ganina akong gingon, if you want to be very, very formal, you may substitute, you may use a table, or you may substitute right away, unsa man ang kanang number nga very close to 2 from the left. So, from the left side, ha? So, kibali, before siya nahimong 2, unsa man ang number? Well, it's positive 1999. Okay? So, kanang number yung i-substitute na lang dito sa function. And actually, you will notice na the result is also approaching negative 3. And then, lastly, number 3, we have to check if equal ba ang limit o ang kanaang f of 2. So, is the limit of f of x as x approaches 2 from the left equal to f of 2? Well, of course, no, kung makita nato, ang limit nato is negative 3 and f of 2 is also negative 3. So in other words, na-satisfy gyapon niya ang kanaang condition sa number 3. So since all A, B, C, all A, B, and C are being satisfied, then ang conclusion, the function therefore is continuous on the closed interval. Okay? So therefore, the function f of x is continuous. Atong conclusion is continuous, no? Kaya diba, we are to show if continuous ba siya or discontinuous. So, para atong conclusion, continuous siya. Is continuous on the closed interval negative 2 and positive 2. Okay. So, that's it, no? Okay. So, kanala, diba nyo lang yun, ano? Kanang tulo ka mo conditions. First, unahon nimong tunga, the open interval. Next is ang boundary sa left and also the boundary sa right. If all conditions are being met, then both pasabot the function is continuous on the given interval. Okay? So, that's it for this video, guys. See you in the next one.